My boyfriend told me he had a business trip in Vegas. I zoomed into his sunglasses in a selfie he sent me and saw a woman in lingerie behind him. While he was gone, I changed the locks, donated half his closet, and sold his gaming PC to a kid from Craigslist who asked, "Why is your ex crying on the porch?" My name's Morgan. I'm 34. I live in a suburb outside Dallas, Texas. I've been with my now ex-boyfriend Derek for 3 years. We met through mutual friends at a 4th of July barbecue. He was charming, good-looking, talked a little too much about stocks for someone who didn't actually work in finance, but I thought he was harmless. Smart, funny. You know the type. A little full of himself, but in a way that felt kind of endearing at first. He moved in with me after about a year. I own my house, small, 2-bedroom place I bought with an inheritance from my dad. Derek had lost his job during the pandemic, and at the time it felt like the right thing to do. He was trying to pivot into consulting, which mostly looked like him on his computer all day gaming, occasionally doing freelance work for startups that never paid on time. I worked as a dental hygienist. I paid the bills. I cooked. I cleaned. I supported him emotionally and financially. He said he just needed a little time to find the right thing. I told myself he loved me, that he was loyal, that we'd get through the rough patch together. So when he said he had to go to Vegas for a networking event, something with guys he used to work with, something about investment opportunities and client meetings, I didn't question it. I even drove him to the airport. He kissed me goodbye and said, "Be good while I'm gone." I said, "You too." He said, "Always." Liar. That first night, he texted me like normal. Said the hotel was nice, the flight was smooth, and he'd be back in 3 days. Sent a couple photos of the strip from his room. Even FaceTimed me while lying in bed, shirtless. I didn't think anything of it. He looked tired. Then came the photo. It was posted to his Instagram story the second night. He was holding a drink, one of those fancy cocktails that comes in a glass that looks like a science experiment. His shirt was open. He had a smug look on his face, but the second I looked at the photo, something in my stomach dropped. I don't even know why. I just had a weird feeling. So I screenshotted it, and I zoomed in. In the reflection of his sunglasses, you could see the room. And in the background, standing by the bed, was a woman in black lingerie. She had long, dark hair. Her back was to the mirror. She was holding a glass. And she was definitely not wearing pants. I stared at it for probably 10 minutes, heart pounding. I couldn't breathe, couldn't cry, couldn't scream. I just kept zooming in and out like maybe I was wrong. Like maybe it was just a weird shadow. But no, it was clear. He was in a hotel room with another woman. While I was at home, folding his laundry and cleaning out the fridge, I didn't text him. I didn't confront him. I waited. And while he was gone, I made some plans. First thing I did was call a locksmith. I told him I needed every lock in the house changed. Front door, back door, garage keypad. He came out that same afternoon. Cost me about $400 total. Worth every penny. I made sure Derek's keys would be useless by the time he got back. Next, I went through his stuff. Half his closet was filled with clothes I bought him, jackets, button-downs, even his custom sneakers he loved so much. I took everything nice, everything expensive, everything that might hurt to lose. Bagged it all up. 6 garbage bags full. I drove them down to a shelter and dropped them off. Didn't even look back. I left him his old gym shorts, some socks, and 2 shirts that had holes in them. That was it. Now, the crown jewel. Derek's PC setup. It was his baby. He'd saved up for over a year, talking about graphics cards like they were holy relics. The desk had neon lights, dual monitors, custom-built tower. The whole thing probably cost $5,000. I listed it on Craigslist. I said I needed to sell it fast. Priced it stupid low. For $100. I had 19 messages in an hour. A kid named Marcus messaged me right away. Said he could come that night. He showed up with his dad's truck, handed me cash, and loaded it up. "You sure you want to sell it for this cheap?" he asked. I smiled. Positive. He gave me a weird look, but didn't ask more questions. Good kid. I cleaned the house, took down every photo of us, washed the sheets, took his toothbrush, and flushed it down the toilet. I was calm. Too calm, maybe? I hadn't slept much, but I was running on something else, something cold and steady. I sat on the couch, watching the clock. He came home Sunday night, 11:13 p.m., to be exact. I know because my Ring camera lit up. I watched him in real time, dragging his suitcase up the steps. He tried the front door. Stuck the key in. Nothing. Tried again. Then he rang the bell. I watched him fidget on the porch, confused. Pulled out my phone. Texted him. Lost. He looked around. Checked his phone. Opened the door. He texted back. I waited a full minute before I stepped outside. He looked relieved. "Hey babe, what's going on? Why isn't my key working?" I didn't say anything. I held up my phone. Opened his Instagram story. Zoomed in on the photo. Held it out. He squinted. Saw it. His face changed fast, confused, then scared. "Morgan, wait. This isn't what you think. Who is she?" She's no one. She was just there. Nothing happened. I shook my head. "You lied." "I didn't mean to. Please, can we go inside and talk?" "You don't live here anymore," I said. He blinked. "What are you talking about?" "I changed the locks. Your name's not on the mortgage. You're done here. You can't just." "I can," I said. And I did. He dropped his suitcase. Walked to the window. Tried to look in. "Where's my stuff?" "Gone." "What?" "Half of it's at the shelter. The rest you can pick up at the curb tomorrow. Whatever's left by sunset goes in the trash." He looked like he was about to throw up. Then Marcus rolled by. He was on a bike, heading home, and he saw us. "Thanks again for the gaming rig, lady," he called out. "This thing is so cool." Derek turned to me like I'd shot his dog. "You sold my setup?" "No," I said. "I gave it to someone who deserved it." He looked like he was going to scream. Or cry. Instead, he sat down on the porch. Put his head in his hands. Didn't say another word. I went inside. Locked the door. Went to bed. Slept like a baby. So, I thought that would be the end of it. But it wasn't. Derek didn't just disappear like I hoped he would. He stuck around. For the past 2 weeks, he's been trying everything he can think of to make it right. First it was texts. Then calls. Then long emails full of guilt and begging. I messed up. I panicked. She meant nothing. I was drunk. It was stupid. Please let me come home. I miss you. I miss us. I didn't answer. Then he started showing up. First, it was the porch. Just sitting there like a lost puppy. One morning I found him asleep on the front step with his hoodie pulled over his face. I called the non-emergency line and told them a trespasser wouldn't leave. They gave him a warning and told him not to come back. He came back the next night. I decided to block him completely. Phone, socials, everything. I was doing okay, all things considered. I went back to work. Got some space. Then I got a message on Facebook. It was from a woman named Kira. I didn't recognize her at first, but she introduced herself quickly. "Hey, I think we need to talk. I'm the girl from the hotel room in Vegas." I stared at the message for a full minute before responding. I asked her how she found me. She said Derek had talked about me, enough that she looked me up once the trip ended, and she started feeling weird about what happened. I asked her if they'd been seeing each other before that night. She said yes. They'd met through a friend of a friend. Derek told her he was single. They'd gone on a few dates. She said she didn't know he had a girlfriend until after they slept together in Vegas. He didn't admit it until the last night of the trip. Said it was complicated and already over. She showed me screenshots, texts, photos, proof. It had been going on for over a month. He told her he was falling for her. He told her I was cold and emotionally distant. That part hit like a punch in the gut. I didn't even cry. I just felt this strange numbness. Like part of me shut off. He wasn't just a cheater, he'd been replacing me, bit by bit, and lying straight to my face while doing it. I thanked Kira for being honest. She apologized. Said she felt stupid and ashamed. Said she'd blocked him too. Then she told me something else. Apparently, Derek had been talking about moving in with her. That's when something snapped in me. I still had access to a lot of our shared stuff. Even though I'd changed the locks and wiped the house clean of him, I hadn't yet gone through our joint Amazon account, the Hulu account, or the Gmail calendar we shared when he pretended to care about planning things. I found something. He had an email chain with a realtor. He was looking at apartments in my neighborhood. He had a tour scheduled this weekend. And not just that, he was using my name and address as a reference. He was trying to stay close. Like he thought we might get back together. Like he was just waiting for me to cool off. No chance. I wasn't just going to block him. I was going to make sure he understood that he lost everything. I called the realtor. Told her I was the reference listed and that Derek had lied. I explained that he had no job, no rental history in his name, and that he was trying to move into the area to stalk his ex. She was polite but clearly concerned. She thanked me for letting her know. I followed that up by contacting the credit union where we once shared a joint account. It was mostly empty, but his name was still on the notifications. I shut it down. Officially. Then I did something petty. Something I don't regret. I went onto his old gaming forums. He used the same handle for everything, Riskmaster87. He loved those dumb spaces. Had hundreds of posts, friends, inside jokes with people he'd never met. I made a post with his account. Said goodbye to everyone. Said he was taking a break from gaming to focus on being a better person after cheating on a woman who supported him through everything. People noticed. He messaged me that night from a burner account. You went too far. I didn't respond. Instead, I changed the Wi-Fi name at my house. It used to be Game Cave. Now, it's called Cheaters Get No Respawn. So yeah, I thought I'd hit the high point of the drama. I was wrong. It's been about 2 weeks since I cut Derek off completely. I've ignored all his messages. I've made sure people close to me knew what he did. I figured the silence would eventually get to him and he'd crawl away. But then his mom showed up at my front door. I came home from work and saw her car parked in front of my house. I almost didn't recognize it at first. She hadn't visited since Christmas 2 years ago. She and I never really got along. She was polite, sure, but cold. Always talked down to me like I was a substitute girlfriend, not the real deal. Thought Derek could do better. Now she was standing on my porch, arms crossed, lips tight. Hi Morgan, she said. We need to talk. I didn't open the screen door. About what? She got right to it. Derek's been staying with us. He's not doing well. He said you kicked him out over some misunderstanding in Vegas and ruined his job search. That you've been spreading lies about him. I didn't say a word. I just pulled out my phone, opened the photo from his Instagram, and held it up through the glass. Her face shifted. She blinked, looked down, then cleared her throat. That could be anyone. I laughed. It's not. And that's just the beginning. She didn't ask for proof. She just said, he said you were emotional. That you had a temper. My jaw clenched. I didn't lose it, but I was close. He told your son he could stay here. He didn't pay rent. He cheated on me. Then he tried to move in down the street like nothing happened. I don't care if he's staying with you now. That's your problem. She narrowed her eyes. He was always too good for this town. Then she got back in her car and left. Something about what she said stuck with me. The way she kept calling it a misunderstanding. Like I was the one who blew it up. Like I was the dramatic one. I went back through Derek's stuff. There wasn't much left, but I still had access to his old laptop. I'd stashed it under the guest bed, planning to wipe it eventually. But I hadn't touched it since he left. I charged it up. Logged in. He never changed his password. I started going through his folders. And what I found? Jesus. He hadn't just cheated on me. He'd been stealing from me. There were spreadsheets. Invoices. Fake ones. He'd been creating fake invoices under a made-up company name. I recognized some of them. I'd seen them in our mail pile before. I'd even written checks for a few of them when he said it was for contract work or business expenses. He'd made up a fake LLC DGR Solutions. Sounded real enough. Turns out he'd been submitting bills for work I thought he was doing as a consultant to me. He used those fake invoices to justify pulling hundreds, sometimes thousands, out of our shared savings, which I'd been putting money into every month. I checked the balances. He'd drained $6,200 in under 8 months. Some of it had gone to flights, some to expensive dinners, some to the hotels he said were covered by clients. It was all lies. He had never landed a real client. He was using my money to cheat on me. I printed everything. I made a full packet: screenshots, invoice files, bank records, even text logs. And I sent it to his mom. No cover letter. No note. Just a thick manila envelope with "From Morgan" written across the front. 3 days later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. It was her. I had no idea, she said. I'm sorry I doubted you. I saved the message. Because I'm not done yet. After I found out Derek had been stealing from me, using fake invoices, draining my savings, I stopped playing defense. I was done just reacting. He wanted to be clever? I could be cruel. So I made a plan. I gathered everything I'd printed, the fake invoices, the bank statements, the screenshots of the transfers. I went to the police station and filed a report for fraud. The officer took it seriously, said it would take time, but it was absolutely worth pursuing. I gave them his full name, social, everything I knew. I also called my bank, opened a fraud case. They asked for proof. I sent them everything. Since my name was on the account and he wasn't authorized to make certain transfers, I might be able to recover a portion of the money. I filed with small claims court, too. Even if he didn't show up, I wanted it on record. I wanted a paper trail. I wanted the world to know who he really was. But that wasn't enough. I knew he still had friends who believed him. People who thought I was the crazy ex who threw him out over a misunderstanding. So I made a website. Simple. Clean. Just the facts. I uploaded redacted versions of the documents, blurred out account numbers, but kept his name. I posted a timeline. Pictures. His messages. The selfie that started it all. The truth, laid out like a case file. I shared the link with the subject line, in case you're wondering what really happened. Sent it to the Reddit gaming group he loved. To the fantasy football league he ran. To the group chat of mutual friends he shared with me, the ones who ghosted me after the breakup. I didn't say a single word of opinion. I just let the truth speak for itself. 3 of his closest friends blocked him. One of them messaged me privately and apologized. Said he felt sick for defending Derek. Kira, the woman from Vegas, shared the site with another woman. A 3rd girl. A new one. Turns out Derek had already started seeing someone else just a week after I kicked him out. Telling her the same lies. Calling me crazy, saying I broke into his accounts and stole his stuff. When she saw the site, she dumped him. Posted her own screenshots in a comment thread. Suddenly, I wasn't just a scorned ex. I was one of 3 women he'd been playing at once. Last week, I got served. Not the kind of drama you expect, just a pathetic legal threat. Derek had filed a complaint claiming I'd damaged his reputation. It was laughable. The lawyer I spoke to said it wouldn't hold up. Everything I'd posted was factual, backed by proof. If anything, I could countersue for emotional distress and financial damages. I'm thinking about it. because the final blow hasn't landed yet. This morning, I got a letter from the bank. They ruled in my favor. They're refunding me $3,400. It's not everything he took, but it's a lot more than I thought I'd see again. And the best part? They said they'd be going after him for the rest. I know I'm not perfect. I let him in. I believed his lies. I let it go on too long because I didn't want to believe someone I loved could be that selfish. But I'm not going to be ashamed of being loyal, of giving someone chances, of wanting to believe the best in someone I lived with, slept beside, cried to. He betrayed that. And now? He has nothing. No girlfriend. No job. No apartment. No gaming setup. And a reputation that'll follow him wherever he runs next. As for me, I bought a new PC, set it up in the same room where his old one used to be, and I renamed the main folder on my desktop for Derek. Actions have consequences. Because they do. And this time, I made damn sure of it.